Was het de rit de moeite waard?
Nou, dat kun je wel zeggen. Ik ben nog steeds een beetje aan het bijkomen van wat ik net gezien heb. Ik bedoel, het is zo... het is zo mooi gedaan. En het is, het is nog steeds alles wat de voorstelling in het theater ook nog steeds is. Dus het is nog steeds intiem. Het raakt nog steeds, het komt nog steeds binnen. Het is, de grote momenten zijn groter. Kijk, dat orkest wat daar zit, dat is iets van 35, bijna 40 man. Die muziek komt die zaal binnen. Stemmen zijn niet normaal goed. Als in, Nederland mag echt in hun handen wrijven dat deze mensen naar Nederland komen en dit gaan laten zien. Deze jongens, het is echt gewoon... Ja, het is wereldklasse. Ik bedoel, hè, mensen van het West End, mensen van Broadway. Ik bedoel, ja, het was echt fantastisch. Ja.
Even voor duidelijkheid, je had hem nog niet gezien, hè, de show?
Deze versie had ik nog niet gezien. Nee. En dan, wat ik al eerder al zei, ik was heel nieuwsgierig hoe Les Mis in deze hoedanigheid stand zou houden in een arena. Ja, het maakt volgens mij uiteindelijk geen bal uit waar je het neerzet. Of het nou het buurthuis is, een theater of een stadion. Het is zo goed dat het altijd overeind blijft. Ja. En dat was nu ook, ja.
Genoten?
Absoluut, meer dan.
Je kan zeker niet wachten nu om te beginnen, hè?
Nou, ik moet je heel eerlijk zeggen, het was heel fijn om nu even aan de andere kant te zitten. En ik vind het ook heel fijn om nu eventjes een stap terug te doen. Even op vakantie te gaan en er dan weer in te duiken. Dat vind ik heel fijn, ja.
Om eerst even terugschakelen en daarna volle versnelling.
Ja, precies. Dan weer gas geven, absoluut. Zeker.
Nou, we gaan zo meteen weer terugrijden. Lekker onderuit nog even, lekker 6 uur in de bus.
Eerst eten. Ik heb zo'n honger. Ja.
Lijkt me een goed idee, dankjewel.
Dankjewel.
Feel great. It's so exhilarating. This show never gets tired for me. And I don't think it gets tired for people, and that's why we're still doing it after 40 years. Well, they're still doing it. I haven't done it quite that long.
No, not you, but the show itself plays for more, I think 40 years now.
Yeah, they just hit 40. I believe either they're about to or they just did. I think they just hit their 40th anniversary in London. And now we're touring the world in this beautiful mixture of theater and film, and it's phenomenal. It was actually my first sort of like big boy job out of college. I was on the American tour for about 3 months, and I understudied Angel Ross when I was like 22. And then I did a 1-week run of playing Angel Ross in the Muni with Cameron McIntosh, our producer. His American team put on a very short stinted production in America, and I got to do that before coming over here.
And now you're on stage in a total different setting, I think. How is that for you?
Oh, it's so fantastically unique. The marriage that they have found between like live theater and the intimacy of film, because we have these HD cameras placed all around the theater that are following us the whole show. So the audience gets to see, it's like the best of both worlds, right? It's like everyone gets to see the grand scale, the epicness of this arena tour. And then you also get like front row intimacy, regardless of where you're sitting. I would say it's even closer than that because you can see every tiny micro expression on every actor's face, which for us is really fun too because we know that everything that we do is going to show up, which is really exciting.
You don't have a stage, really like a theater, you know, so it's really a different setting, but you still try to actually tell the story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a concert, but there is still just enough staging that I think audiences definitely get the sense of what's happening, and there's still plenty of action. Let me say, the amount of money that they have put into the tech in this show, we don't need to move. It does it for us. Every piece of this set moves. There are like 1,000 gigantic lights. They don't just light us, they light the entire audience. So there's a sense of immersion, I think, which is really cool.
And then, of course, not last but not least, the orchestra. I think to play with such a big orchestra and also a big ensemble, it's, I think, for you a challenge, but also enjoying yourself?
Certainly. I mean, as we see technology advancing, I think one sad side effect of that is we're often seeing the live orchestra shrinking in shows on Broadway, the West End, everywhere. But this show, I believe we have a 26-piece orchestra, and they all tour with us all the time. Typically on a tour, you'll have like 5 regular, musicians who tour, and the rest are locals. So it's sort of like figuring it out in each city. No, here they are all the best of the best, and they come with us everywhere. So every single night is absolutely pristine, which is really cool.
You're just starting the tour now, so you look forward to all the other ones?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm an American. I've never left North America, so this is freaking great. Are you kidding? I get to see all of Europe, and get paid some money to do it, and I get to sing, too. I could die on this tour. It's great.
Stay alive, please, and enjoy yourself.
At least till Act 2. But maybe not. We might win one of these nights.
Okay, in the show, okay, but on the rest, get up again and celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. I plan to. Thank you.
Here you are now, back from the battlefield. Yeah, you played the show already before, of course, really on theatre. How was that first? How was Les Misérables?
Oh my God, it was amazing. Well, in London, you mean in the West End? In the West End, it's amazing. It's cool to do Les Mis in the initial home of Les Mis, where it all began in London. It feels very special.
And in your role, of course, it's a beautiful role. You're playing the beautiful songs you're doing. How's that for you?
Yeah, it feels incredible. I mean, the orchestrations for this particular version of Les Mis, this concert version, are so beautiful. It's so romantic. So I feel very lucky to be able to get to sing those songs in this way in this concert.
And then, of course, West End, and then you all of a sudden go in this total new setting. Where are the challenges for you?
Oh God, well the initial challenge was figuring out this new concert version that we're doing because it's a semi-stage production. So we kind of want the audience to be able to take in the music without the distractions of a fully staged version of the show. So we had to come up with a way of delivering that while still maintaining the magic of Les Mis in London. And our creative team have really done an amazing job of capturing that. And Cameron McIntosh, he crafted this production himself and handpicked everybody to do it. So I say challenge, it didn't feel like a challenge because everything sort of fit. He's assembled this group of people who have such a love and a passion for this musical that it all kind of worked pretty seamlessly. Yeah.
And then you are actually in more of a hall instead of a theatre. The atmosphere is different. What did you notice on stage?
Well, the atmosphere here it's the same as in London. It's the same emotions, the same feeling, but just times, 10, times 1,000. It's wild. And it's because it's so dark, we don't see anything, but we can hear everything. So all the reactions and the responses we've been getting so far have been better than anything we could have anticipated. It's so great.
And then also what I was amazing was actually the singing, the ensemble, bigger than we are used to in Holland. Yeah. And the orchestra is much bigger. How is that for you to play and sing in this whole setting?
It's amazing. This is my first time doing Les Mis. I did it for a brief run in London, but this is kind of like my first big Les Mis contract. And so to be able to do it in this way with this size of an orchestra and this ensemble, and the ensemble is made up of people who have been in Les Mis or involved in Les Mis for years, like for decades. So it's cool. I feel very fortunate to sort of be welcomed into the Les Mis family.
And of course, staging is a bit different because you don't have all the props there to tell the story. But how is that for you?
It was definitely, there was a big adjustment to be made, but the music of this show speaks for itself. So it's nice actually to be able to stay grounded and stand still and just let the music speak for itself.
Okay. Well, I wish you a lot of fun and traveling around to Europe and enjoy yourself. But don't die too often, of course, but stay alive.
Thank you so much.
A great show, which is coming to Holland. So what are you bringing to Holland?
Well, I think we're bringing the greatest musical in the world, Les Misérables. It's a musical phenomenon, and we're bringing it to the Netherlands on a scale like never been seen before. And I think we're very honoured as a company and very lucky. And I think that the audience are going to be in for a real treat.
What makes this show now so special for you?
I think it's, Les Misérables I've been with for over 11 years now, coming from the ensemble, working my way up playing Jean Valjean and Enjolras and now playing Javert. And I think, what's really hits home is that the story of hope, of love, of desire, of passion, of misery, of loss. And I think, we can all relate to something that happens in Les Misérables. Even if you're not following the antagonist and the protagonist of Jean Valjean and Javert, you can follow the story of Fantine or the passion of Enjolras, the love story of Marius and Cosette. And I think we can all relate to something in Les Misérables, and we can have 3 hours of pure escapism.
Talking about this 3 hours, of course, you have a different staging now. You still are, I must say, impressively tell the story of this gentleman. How do you do that?
Well, I mean, we're so lucky, Claude Michel Schomburg and Alain Boublil, they wrote such amazing music. It's an absolute honour. And, we've got an incredible 30-piece orchestra. So you feel, as a performer, you feel like one of the luckiest people out there, kind of standing there getting to sing this amazing music. And, it's such an ensemble piece. The ensemble and everyone that's involved in this is so talented, and all alumni, and we've got fresh graduates coming from college that are just eager to tell this story like it's never been told before.
But also the story of the gentleman you're playing. There's a lot of struggles in there, and you still, you missed some props, but you still managed to put it on stage, which I think is remarkable, to be honest. So my compliments. I really enjoyed it. I saw your fights actually where you're telling the story.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, it definitely has its dynamics. Let's say, as playing Inspector Javert, it does have its light and dark moments, and probably 80% more dark than light. But it's an honor as an actor, you know, to go on a journey like Inspector Javert, and you know, I try to make it my own, and you know, and that's all I can do, and hopefully just tell the story the best I possibly can.
What makes this Javert now so interesting for you? Looking at it from a slight distance, you're almost in the middle now, but what makes this guy so interesting for you?
Well, I think for me, I mean, I've read the book a couple of times, and I think sometimes the misconception is that he's sometimes a bad guy, and I just don't see him as that. I just see him as a driven individual who's great at work, and strives for to uphold the law. And unfortunately, these things happen, and you know, I won't give away too much if you haven't seen it. And yeah, and I think, you know, we see a small demise in his character, unfortunately.
And now you're playing a whole in-ears, of course, a huge orchestra. How is it for you now? Different dimension, of course.
Oh, of course. I mean, you know, we're used to, you know, playing it in the Sondheim, where it's, you know, 1,000 people, and you know, we've got a smaller band. I think it's 14, and you know, now we're taking it to 10,000 people at a show with in-ears and with an orchestra of 30 people. You feel like a rock star. It's amazing.
You feel floating away a bit like the magic carpet on Aladdin, I think.
Yeah, absolutely so. Absolutely so.
Well, we look forward to see you in the Netherlands, also with your colleagues, of course. And yeah, we can't wait. So come quickly.
Thank you so much for having us. So we can't wait.
Ja, we hebben net naar je mogen kijken en mogen luisteren. En je zit er nu al een tijdje in. Hoe gaat het met je?
Ja, het gaat heel goed. Het is zo'n ontzettend fijne cast en ik geniet echt heel erg. Ja.
Nou was je natuurlijk theater gewend. Nu sta je ineens in een hele grote zaal met heel veel mensen, minder decor en props. Hoe is dat voor jou?
Nou, eerst was het het voelde een beetje naakt juist. Van, alles gaat nu echt naar mijn zang en naar mijn acteerwerk. Ja. Maar eigenlijk is dat nu zo fijn, want ik kan me dus ook echt focussen op mijn zang en mijn acteerwerk. En niet nog 1000 props en van alles en loopjes. Heel fijn. Ja.
En dan zit je in een heel Engels gezelschap volgens mij, als ik het goed zo hoor en zie. Ja. En hoe is dat voor jou? Dat is een hele andere ervaring, denk ik.
Ja, nou, ik moet je eerlijk zeggen, in het begin was ik daar heel gestrest om. Want ik dacht, dat ik dus goed in Engels was tot ik hier kwam. En toen dacht ik, Brits is echt een heel ander ding dan Amerikaans. Maar nu gaat het goed. Maar ik was daar eerst wel heel erg dat als ik maar niet door de mand val. Maar nee, nu gaat het goed.
En jouw rol natuurlijk, je was er al thuis in. Hoe is dat nu nog om dat nog verder uit te diepen en ook een hele andere omgeving?
Nou, het is dus echt, het voelt alsof het een andere Van Tien is voor mij. Vorig jaar was een hele, misschien iets wat bozere, verdrietige Van Tien. En deze Van Tien houdt meer vast aan de hoop. En ik vind deze Van Tien eigenlijk fijner om te spelen. Ja.
En dan speel je met minder decor, een gigantisch orkest, groter ensemble. Ja. Hoe voel jij je daarin?
Ja, nou, in het begin vond ik het dus heel eng en nu is het als een warm bad. Het is zo rijk, we spelen met in-ears, dat orkest is zo rijk, het ensemble is zo goed. En het is echt een cadeautje. Ja.
En dan mag je Europa door, hoe is dat voor jou?
Ja, het is fantastisch, want ik reis best wel vaak voor werk, maar dan ben ik 1 dag in en uit. Nu zijn we echt een week of 2 op een locatie, dus dan kan je ook een beetje genieten van de plek. Het is echt een droom.
Geniet je?
Ik geniet ontzettend.
Ik wens je heel veel genieten en tot volgende keer.
Dankjewel.
Do you hear the people sing?